Welcome everyone to the Big Man on Campus podcast. I'm your host, the Big Man on Campus, here on a Thursday, March 8th, 2018. Ian Cameron joins me today. Ian Cameron, Babano, how you doing today, man?
Oh, I'm doing great. I mean, conference tournaments are just going nuts with some of these games here in terms of the excitement level. It's been a wild afternoon, a couple overtime games. How about Alabama calling Sexton with the dash for cash, as I like to say it, the cash being maybe cashing in your NCAA tournament ticket with that drive to the hole and that game-winning layup to beat A&M earlier today. Is that the shot from Colin Sexton that puts Bama in the tournament? It very well could have been.
Yeah, I think it is. It's a big win for that group. They needed it. Can't lose first tournament game. Ian, you had LaSalle over last night?
Indeed I did. Yes,
Yeah, I did.
Indeed I did.
I
It
did
broke
too.
an 11-game over streak for UMass. I jumped off the train. I actually did bet it, but I didn't put it out as a premium or bet it big when they played today against George Mason. And sure enough, that game does go over the total. So they get right back on the over train after I jumped off it for the most part after they stayed short of the total yesterday against LaSalle. Yeah, that was a disappointing result. Didn't like seeing that one get off to such a slow start as it did. It picked up late, but didn't quite get there.
Yeah, I had that also. That was a play I gave out. I thought it was a great play, but what are you going to do? Ian, let's get into the card tonight. Last night, 0-1 here, 2-2 on the week. Not too bad. We get back at it tonight. I got 3 plays. I already put out 2 of them, so looking forward to adding to my bankroll. I'll tell you what, soccer's been fucking beautiful this week. I've been murdering the pitch, so I'm very happy with my soccer plays this week that I've been putting in. So yeah, last night we go and won with the play there on the over in the LaSalle game. Keep in mind, I have not figured in any of my conference futures, which I'm not going to. That was really just for fun, but I did wrap up those today. I have plays on every conference. So 0-1 last night, 39-23 run over my last 62 plays. So really over the last month, it's been absolutely fantastic. It's been a great year, really. 122 and 75, 62% up 38.85 units. So we're just hanging right around that 40 unit mark. Look, I'll be honest, if I went 500 the rest of the year, it would suck, but it wouldn't be the worst thing. It is what it is. We'll keep trying to crack on here and hopefully find some winners tonight. Ian, if I can, I'm going to get my plays out of the way here. I have a play starting at 5:30 here, so I'm going to jump right into those. I'm not going to give breakdowns on why I took Seton Hall. I already talked about it earlier. I don't really think there's necessary that we have a breakdown. I'm on Xavier +1. A lot of people are why do I keep saying Xavier? I'm on Seton Hall +1.
There you go.
I'm on Seton Hall +1, and people keep contacting me about Desi Rodriguez. I'm well aware of what Desi Rodriguez's situation is. I'm going to guess he's going to give it a go tonight. I think Sanogo will definitely be back from what Kevin Willard's mentioning. They should have him back tonight. But I got to tell you, man, I took Seton Hall last week against Butler up in Newark, and it was a great win. It was a good situation for me, senior day. I'm very confident with the Seton Hall team, even without Desi. I'd love him in there, but I think Kadeem Carrington, Miles Powell, Delgado, this Mishtakevli kid, this Turkish kid, he's been fantastic. They have a lot of options. Sanogo will probably be back. We're only going to get a plus if he's back to the lineup. So for me, Desi not being in there, I'd like to have him in there, but if he doesn't play, they've shown before that they can get the job done without him. I'm not in love with Butler on the road. I can't stand this team on the road. I think they stink. And Seton Hall will have the home crowd tonight. Should be a fun atmosphere. I'm hoping they get through because I'm going to be up at the semis tomorrow. I'd like to see Seton Hall play, but I'm going to go Seton Hall here +1. The other play I gave out is the Tulane Green Wave +6.5. Bet that one a little bit early just because I wanted to grab the 6.5 points here. I'm seeing this stuff on the chat, and I'm still kind of sick of it. I'm not playing this game because Big Man will be rooting for Temple. Listen, I've made my thoughts on Temple perfectly clear this year. I'm very annoyed with the situation going on at this school right now. This play has nothing to do with me being a fan. I know what the Temple Owls are. I don't want to back them as a favorite. I really like this Tulane team, and I think they match up real well with the Owls in this game. You look at the fact of the both matchups this year in Philadelphia. Tulane won the game. You also look at the matchup down in Louisiana on Super Bowl Sunday. It was a 5-point game within the whole game. Fritos got it up and over that point towards the end of the game. But I think they match up real well with the Owls. One thing that Temple can really help hurt you with is their size. They have good size guards. I mean, Obi, Quentin Rose, Shiz Alston, they're all big kids. They're all 6'4", 6'3". Obi 6'10", can kind of play anywhere. But, they can kind of hurt you with their length. I know this Tulane team's not playing particularly well right now coming into this tournament, but I think they match up well against Temple. Melvin Frazier's a great player. I like Cameron Reynolds, Rayona Emba, Jordan Cornish. They all are good-sized players. They can all match up on the perimeter. And I think Temple's incredibly weak on the block. I don't think they're a team that you really have to worry about much down there. I think Tulane will obviously have a nice opportunity there. They won't be able to get exploited on that end. I don't think Temple should be a favorite of 6.5 points really at any level. I'm going to go with Tulane here plus 6.5 in this conference tournament. And one more, Ian Cameron, Indian Cowboy. What's up, buddy? Good to see you in the show here. Good to have you always. I'm going to go with one play at 5:30. Ian, before we get to that, what do you think of those two plays? Do you like those two plays?
Butler Seton Hall, I'm not involved because it's a short turnaround revenge spot for Butler. They're a little bit healthier than Seton Hall, but you mentioned it about Butler on the road. I can't trust them. I'm a little worried for Seton Hall, to be honest, but I'm not backing Butler. I don't trust them on the road. Seton Hall is going to have the crowd advantage there, close to Jersey, right there at Madison Square Garden. So, and you still like the toughness that Seton Hall can show you from time to time and show the ability to overcome injuries. So it's a pass for me, but I wish you luck with Seton Hall. Hope they cash in for you. And I'm with you on the other game, Tulane, plus the points. Absolutely something I'm very much interested in. Tulane is one of those teams you're going to look at them and say they're every bit as bad, if not worse, than Temple. And I wouldn't deny that for an instant, but they're the team catching 6.5 points here. They're not the team laying 6.5 points. And when I look at Tulane here, the first two meetings, we meant you know this better than anyone, big man. They won in Philly, outright as underdogs against Temple, and the second meeting against Tulane, against Temple in Tulane, there's a little asterisk beside that win for the Green Wave. One of their better players got injured the first few minutes of that game. Melvin Frazier didn't come back. Was out for the rest of the game. He's a glue guy, great defender, great length, improved his scoring. He's averaging 15 points per game this season. He got injured in that second meeting against Temple. Didn't play the rest of the game after going out the first 4 minutes and changed the complexion of that game. He's back now. He's healthy. And a great quote from Frazier going into this tournament. We talk about Tulane playing terrible. Is this a team that's going to flip a switch and do anything in this tournament? Well, this is a bet on quote to me. Here's a great quote here from Frazier about this game tonight. Quote, "We are going to be in the gym for a couple extra days of practice. We are going to regroup, get together, and try to make a run in the tournament. We're going to keep going forward." When I hear a team that with a player with that kind of quote like he did for Tulane there, for a team that had been really struggling, 1-8 in their last 9 games, that tells me they're not throwing in the towel yet. They still want to make something of this AAC tournament here. And I think you're going to get a good effort from Tulane. And quite frankly, money loser Temple, 3-5 ATS this season, laying 5 points or more. I'm with you all the way on Tulane plus the points tonight.
Yeah, glad to hear it. Yeah, I really like this one. And if anyone knows Temple, it's me. Let me get into my third play here tonight. It's going to go at 5:30, so it gets going in about 20 minutes here. So listen up, everyone. Listen up. I'm not repeating this. If you miss it, you miss it. It's your fault. I'm going to go with Utah Valley State, minus 8.5 against Cal State Bakersfield. Ron Barnes, big fan of his at CSB. I think he's done a great job. He's a hell of a coach. But he's just had a lot of unlucky situations this year. You lose some players to the draft or they leave school and graduate. And then now you look at the fact that they just lost Sean Briggs, one of their better players. He's out for the foreseeable future with an injury. They're stomping into this game in kind of a tough spot. You look at the two games this year that they played against this upstart Utah Valley team, they got murdered in all those games. You look at the game 70-47 and 75-42. This Utah Valley team is the one team I'm concerned about against New Mexico State. I have New Mexico State in the conference. I expect them to win, but don't sleep on this Aggie team. They are really, really good. Not only defensively, they own the best defense in this conference. Ian, they're giving up 62 points a game in conference this year. Teams only shooting 40%. But look at this offense. Very efficient offense. 78.5 points a game, 49% from the field. You look at over the last 5, they're shooting almost 52%. And they shoot well from the free throw line, really good offensive team. And they make their threes, 39%. I've really enjoyed Utah Valley. I've watched them from time to time out on one of the WAC stations. I watch a lot of Grand Canyon basketball, and Utah Valley's been on my radar a couple times. If you watch the out of conference, they had a real tough schedule. Went into Kentucky, went into Duke, played BYU, played Weber State, played some other tough teams. This is a team that challenged themselves. I think they're very ready for this tournament, and they have been at times just murdering teams in this conference. Their only losses are to Grand Canyon, I believe, and New Mexico State. So you got to feel comfortable. I think they come in, really set the tone early. I mean, UCSB hasn't been able to do anything at all against Utah Valley this year. I'm not really sure how it will continue. You just look at everything that Utah Valley does, whether it's Brandon Randolph at point or Manyang down low. This Manyang kid's fantastic. Kenny Ogby, the Toulson brothers. They do a real nice job here at Utah Valley. Look what they've done. I'm going to go with Utah Valley minus 8.5 as my third and final play. The game goes at 5:30 Eastern. Any opinion, Ian, on that? Have you seen any Utah Valley State?
I've seen them briefly. They're very, very good. I didn't bet that game, didn't come close to a wager on that one. I know for a fact this WAC conference, really, when you look at it, really should be. Utah Valley's in the mix. New Mexico State probably is the team that you would think's got a good chance to come through here in this WAC conference. They're always, it seems like they're the team to beat. I know there's a couple other teams. Bakersfield had a run at them one year. Utah Valley's had a run at them in the past, but it seems like it always goes through the New Mexico State Aggies here in this WAC conference. But yeah, this is a conference where I think it could be very chalk heavy. I know a few people that follow the WAC a little bit closer than I do that are actually laying 23.5 big man with New Mexico State against Chicago State. They think it's that big of a mismatch that they could absolutely destroy that team and maybe even get their starters off the floor. They're going to be up so big in that basketball game tonight. So it does seem the chalk is getting a little bit of the stronger opinions from some people I've talked to in this particular conference, big man.
Yeah, no, I like this one. I kind of keyed in on it. I was waiting for the line to come out. There is a game going on in this conference currently. Grand Canyon struggling with Missouri, Kansas City a little bit. The Roos
Kangaroos.
Wow.
Yeah, and they were leading by 10 early in this basketball game. I'm like, what? Dan Marley's team is going to go down? No, it looks like they might survive, but barely. We're talking 75-72 with 50 seconds left. So actually, they're not out of the woods just yet.
Yeah, it's interesting. I actually have my dad and I actually have stock in Grand Canyon.
Sell the stock.
No, I'm hoping I don't. I don't want them to lose right away. So yeah, I actually told them, I'm like, you buy a little more, they could get to the tournament. Let's ante up a little bit more. But yeah,
you know what I got to do? We got to say to Morency, stick the damn cork into your Grand Canyon talk, will you please? If they lose today, enough already.
Right. Tonight I have 3 plays: Seton Hall +1, Tulane +6.5, and I'm on Utah Valley State minus 8.5. At 5:30. So 3 plays. Let's rock. Ian Cameron, want to also welcome the listeners. I think I said that already, but welcome into everyone out there. Please hit the like button. Very important to the growth of the show. We've had a lot of great listeners on this show over the last couple weeks and couple months. The countdown is on, people. This show will be ending when college basketball ends. So I'll do some random videos, maybe a weekly baseball video or something, but we're not going to be having daily shows. That's an announcement I'll make right now. If you follow me on SBR, I have the right side of campus. Donnie and I will be reviewing the baseball card on there. There will not be plays of the day anymore. I'll just be doing the show there. We'll come up with something, maybe throw out a play of the day from each of us and just run with that. Baseball for me is a time where I can kind of refresh myself. guys, I really need to focus on myself. I need to get myself in shape. I got a trainer I'm starting to see. So I really got to get myself in order here. And baseball gives me a good time for that. But have no fear. I'm not going to wait till the end. You'll still see me, but I'm not going to be doing videos past basketball.
Well, if anyone
Ian,
deserves me time, it's you. I mean, you've put in
thank you.
more than your amount of hours here on a
Thank you.
daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis doing shows. It's time for some me time. And that's why people are bothering me at sometimes. Well, why don't you come in the chat for Gabe's show? Well, I just want to relax, maybe. Just
Yeah.
lie on the couch and watch some sports, please. Can I do that? Can I do that for once? So yeah, everybody needs a little me time. Big
Ian, it's funny you say that. I actually I don't know if anyone knows this, but I did the show last night with Blackjack Fletcher until 12:30. I was up to about 2:30. I woke up at 6:50 to go on to Clay Travis's show. Did that. Went back to sleep for about an hour. Woke up. Did the right side of campus. I've done my videos. I've done soccer today. I did all sorts of stuff, and now I'm here. I'll do a little bit later. I got to go to haircut, go get some sushi. Then I got to do another show later tonight. I also have to do a NASCAR video at some point here with a guest. So there is a lot to do in this business right now. I got too much going on, so it's gotta get a little bit less. So
yeah, but quickly, let me talk about the cycle that we've gone through. This has really not stopped for us, either of us, since September when football season starts.
Yes.
You're just going hard. September, October, November, basketball starts, and November and December just drive a stake through you almost with how much work you got to do, how many shows you got to do, how much preparation you got to do through those months. January, February, a little bit of a respite as football slows down, and then wham, March hits you right upside the head again, and you're nonstop busy for the entire month. This is it, though, big man. We're almost at the end of the long road here. We get through March, April, we can breathe it out, exhale a little bit, take a breather, get some of our own time in for a change. April, May, June, and we'll have some relaxing, just take it easy kind of months. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, you're totally right. And it's funny, Indian Cowboy said big man leaves as big man, comes back as Ryan Gosling in the fall. No, think more along the lines of Ronnie from Jersey Shore, if you've ever seen him. That's more or less what I'm trying to look like. I'm never going to be skinny. That's not my it's not the way my body's built, but I got to lose plenty of weight. And I got this. You got to see this trainer I got, Ian Cameron. I'm going to post some videos once the season's over. I got this trainer, man, that he promotes by just taking videos of the workouts that he does. This guy is serious, man.
Is he a drill sergeant? He's going to
pretty much. He's basically, if you've seen like he looks like The Rock, like he's like that big, like he's huge. He's got dreadlocks, big guy, big guy. So it should be fun. Ian Cameron, by the way, before we get into the rest of the plays tonight, how you never let us know how the Soup Fest went. How'd that go?
The Soup Fest. I know, the Mystery Soup Fest. And I had to mention this on Gabe's show. I had to explain, what that was all about, how much fun I enjoyed. It was just a great experience because of the soups that were there. It was a great variety of soups. You had spicy soups. You had soups with some hot sauce in it, a little kick to it, different ingredients. You had tomato soup, grilled cheese crouton soup. You had special roast beef soup. You had all kinds of different ones. Pulled pork chili soup. Cuban chicken soup. I mean, you go on down the list. It was just unique soup. I know people are going to say soup. Well, I'm not going there. I'm not paying money. I'm not going down there transportation-wise to eat chicken noodle soup or Lipton cup of soup. I'm not doing that. If I'm going there, it's going to be good soup. It's going to be quality soup. It's going to be soups I don't get to have on a regular basis, and I enjoyed it.
We actually looked up the soups one of the nights when I was on with Morency, and they actually looked pretty good. Like some of the soups, it was like kind of some cool like. Just different ones. But yeah, hey, listen, if I had a girl or something, like I'd take her to that. That wouldn't be that bad.
I should enjoy it. There's a lot of girls there. I enjoyed that part of it too.
Yeah, sure. Let's get into some other stuff, Ian. What are you taking a look at tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Tulane's one of them. We're going to look at Duquesne as well as a slight underdog against Richmond, A10 action. Richmond's not impressed me one bit this season, and they're not playing great basketball coming into this Atlantic 10 tournament. They've slipped a little bit on the defensive end of the court. They've given up really a lot more points lately than they have. The field goal percentage, defensive numbers have declined. And in fact, if you look at the last 5 games, Duquesne actually has a little bit slightly better defensive numbers than Richmond. More than anything, I like a little bit of a coaching angle we've got going here for Duquesne. We've got Keith Dambrot, who's in his first year as the head coach here. What did he do at Akron before? Consistently good at conference tournament time. Every year, Akron was a great conference tournament team under Keith Dambrot. I think that goes a long way to helping Duquesne prepare themselves, get themselves ready to play in this conference tournament. And I like already in just 1 year, Duquesne's already making some positive inroads. It's a long way to go. They're only 16-15. I know that record's nothing to write home about, below 500 slightly in the conference, but this is a team that competes. It's going to give you their all. Duquesne is a team that I think in the conference tournament setting has got a coach that knows what it takes to get the rotation set the way he wants, prepares them for a conference tournament, and to succeed in March at this time of year. He's just been a great March coach. That's all there is to it. And I can get +2 with a team playing slightly better defense now, with a coach with a track record of success at this time of year in March. Yeah, no problem taking a little Duquesne Dukes +2 against Richmond.
Yeah, actually, that's a pretty good play. Nice breakdown, Ian. Yeah, Damrock did a nice job at Akron. I mean, took him to the tournament, I think, 2 years ago, if I can remember correctly. That's a good pick there. Interesting turn of events out in New Mexico State. Betting has been closed in this game. Wondering why. That's weird. Betting numbers been pulled, it looks like, at certain outlets. I don't know what that's all about. But yeah, I guess the biggest line on the board, maybe there's something going on there. That's weird. But yeah, I like that play. And Duquesne as dogs. I just kind of look at that one like I look at Seton Hall. I don't really understand why Seton Hall is an underdog. I think they're the better team. Let's kind of just run down the thing, Ian. If you have any other ones, we can throw them in. By the way, Temple down to 6, Ian Cameron. I move lines here. I mean, that's just what I do. I fucking move lines, bro.
I think so. And it's come on, it can't be a coincidence that there's always a little line movement on plays that you talk about like a minute or two after, like me with CFL. No one else is moving those CFL lines. It's me.
Yes. Let's get into it here. Big man, can you give your thoughts on Texas Tech in your King of the Hill imitation? Okay. Oh, you're that guy, the King of the Hill guy. Okay. Yeah, Ian, you know I do impressions and stuff, right?
Yes, and some very, very good ones too.
Yeah,
Ed Orgeron sticks out. Yeah.
Have you ever seen King of the Hill or no?
Oh yeah, of course, Bobby and Hank and all the crew.
Right. Okay, so you know Bobby. I can do a pretty good Bobby impression.
Okay.
All right. Let me see if you like it. Hey, Bobby, how you doing today? But Dad, I want to grow roses.
That's really good.
Come on, Dad. I don't want to go to school today.
That's really good. Wow. And I remember Bobby's voice. That's impeccable. That's like spot on, big man. Way to go.
Thank you. Yes.
Great.
So yes, Ian, we'll break down Texas and Texas Tech. It's hard to do Bobby in like a breakdown voice. We'll get into that one in a little bit here. Duke, Notre Dame, obviously, your recency bias, you look back to Notre Dame, you think to yourself, okay, great. Maybe they can hang in here again. I don't see it. I think Notre Dame's going to be dog tired by the middle of the second half. We saw today with the Clemson Tigers. They really kind of took it to Boston College. 90 points today. I think you're going to see a similar situation here. I think Notre Dame can hang around for a little bit, but Notre Dame's really trying to do something that's somewhat impossible. 5 wins in 5 days. I think Duke will probably have this game, probably be a 5-6 point game at half. I think Duke will pull away and win by double digits. I'd love to see Notre Dame beat Duke. Even though I have a future on them, I don't care. Notre Dame's a cool story. I always like the Irish. You have to agree, though, this might be a tough one for Notre Dame at this point.
It's going to be tough. I actually took a little Notre Dame, not in love with it, but I've been riding them. I'll try it one more time here. I'm worried they run out of gas. I actually kind of prefer them in the first half in this game more than the full game because I think they're going to stick around for a little bit. You worry about in the second half. And Duke's going zone because Mike Krzyzewski is scared out of his mind to see this team play man-to-man defense right now, the way they played earlier in the season playing that style of D. So it's going to be about, can you hit your three-point shots? And if the legs aren't there after 2 straight games that were very tight, Pitt came down to the wire, which nobody expected. Virginia Tech, they had to rally themselves from way back to come back and beat the Hokies last night? Are the legs going to be there against that zone defense in the second half, the back half of that game? That's the greatest concern I have for the Irish. I'd lead under the total, too, at 144, because the one thing Duke has done, at least we saw it in the second half against Carolina, they have played better defense with the zone in place. So maybe that game can actually stay under the 144.
Jack Sherifant, New Mexico State played yesterday. That's incorrect. They're the 1 seed. They did not play yesterday.
No, this is their first game tonight. Yeah,
they played tonight at 9. We keep it going here. We'll stay in the Atlantic Coast Conference. North Carolina, Miami. I got to tell you, Ian, I kind of like Miami in this game. I think this is a close game. I think it comes right down to the wire. This Miami team finally healthy, it looks like. You got Brown back there. You got Jaquan Newton, who has a little energy now after hitting that big shot a couple weeks ago. Lonnie Walker's a lottery pick, great player. I like DeJuan Huell down low. Likes is giving them some good minutes off the bench. I think they can hang around in this game. 6 points, kind of too many. I think this one will come down to the wire. The one concern obviously you have is, UNC is a great rebounding team. But the one game this year, it was right down to the wire. Great game the whole way through. Miami was great in that game. I kind of lean with Miami in this one. I think this game will be the better one of the night.
It's interesting because, of course, this is also the team that absolutely demoralized North Carolina with a buzzer beater, just a week ago? At Chapel Hill. I mean, that's definitely going to be in the back of North Carolina's mind going into this game. Apparently, they've mentioned do it. That's my one concern, but still, I mean, is North Carolina really going to play at a high enough level here tonight to lay 6 against Miami? I'm not so sure. I mean, I think the North Carolina team will have their focus on this game, will try to bring their A game if they've got one in them. That's my concern, but you can never always go wrong catching or taking points with Jim Larinaga, catching points. I mean, he's been very good in the underdog role. So, I'm a little bit trepidatious because of that revenge spot, but yeah, I don't trust North Carolina laying a full 6.
Yeah, no, I like it myself. Let's keep on going here. Ian Cameron. By the way, if anyone's interested, the Georgia Bulldogs are beating Missouri. What a poor effort from Missouri. Just very bad. Not good. Struggling in this game. May go down here. We'll see what happens. What else do we got? Ian, do you have any other games you're looking at tonight? And then we'll kind of keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, let's take a look. George Washington's picked up the pace, picked up the tempo. I grabbed a little over 127 against St. Louis. Now, I know St. Louis is that grind them out. They don't want to have any sort of pace in their game. I understand that. But George Washington, pulled Fordham into a game that got to the 150s. Yesterday in their first A10 tournament game. They're going to try to speed this up as much as possible. They don't want to be caught in half-court basketball with this St. Louis team, and I give Travis Ford credit because he's done a very good job. St. Louis has been a feisty, scrappy, competitive squad all season long, amid injuries that they've had once again with this squad, and yet they still find ways to compete and even win games. It's been very impressive to watch. So I like the over there, and I actually lean to the St. Louis side just a little bit because I like what Travis Ford's done there. Again, they found a way to win those kind of games, those close games late. So I'd lean St. Louis and a little bit over 127 in that game. Let me see one more that I can pick out here. Arkansas laying 5 in the SEC. That's not something I'm interested in doing. I know this is not the same South Carolina team as of last year, obviously, that went to the Final Four. It's nowhere close to that group, but it's still a group that plays hard defensively at that end of the court. You don't always see that from Arkansas. Hell, you don't see that a lot from Arkansas, paying attention to the defensive end of the court. Arkansas not only has to win this game, they got to win this game by margin. Even their offense is overrated. I've seen this team really, even some of their better shooters, go in and out of scoring slumps. That's a concern, laying 5 on a neutral court. I think South Carolina keeps that game very, very close right to the end.
Like it. Couple questions here. Can you do Boomhauer or Cartman? I don't watch South Park. I can't say I do. Can I do Boomhauer? That's a tough one. No, I'd have to work on that. It's kind of like Ed Orgeron. He kind of talks kind of similar.
Even as Drew Martin actually is pretty good. Big man's Drew Martin.
Drew Martin
impression. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll pretend to be Drew Martin. Welcome in, everybody, to the SBR Roundtable. We'll go to Ian Cameron. You can find him on Twitter at Babano. Ian Cameron, do you have a song and dance for us today?
I know he's got that little Ian Cameron kind of twang to his
Yeah.
voice. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. We also have another handicapper on the show today, Joe Duffy. Hey, big man, how you doing? It's Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. You can catch me every Saturday during the football season on the SBR Facebook page. You again can catch me on the SBR Facebook page for the tailgate party. I'll give you my industry secrets and tools of the trade all the way back to the score phone days. We'll take a look at industry secrets from guys like High Cotton and myself, Joe Duffy, and OffshoreInsiders.com.
That's a great impression. That's a great impression. Oh, Stanford, UCLA. Yeah, that's a good question because it's going right off the board in a few minutes. I think UCLA gets it done. Laying 4.5. That's a little higher than I liked, but I'm on UCLA there. I think they still win by enough of a margin
Yeah.
there. I think they're a team that knows they don't want to drop this opener. Don't leave it to chance. Don't leave it to Selection Sunday and be biting your fingernails. You're in the tournament for certain if you're UCLA. I think if you get this win today, and I think they'll get it done.
Yeah, someone asked about West Virginia, and all I have to say is almost heaven, West Virginia. Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country
roads. There we go.
Yes. So we will get into that one. Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, it's up to 6. Baylor really needs it. Really need it. Yeah, I think they'll hang. I don't love West Virginia. Someone asked, do I like them in tournament time? Not really, because if you can break the press, you're going to score, and you're going to score a lot. So, I think they have the ability to break the press. I'm not in love with it. Baylor really needs the game. I would take the 6 points there for sure.
The thing with West Virginia too, that their best performances in this Big 12 tournament year after year, not so much day one of the tournament. It's if they win a couple games, they advance later in the tournament. Then physical and mental fatigue comes into play, and that's where the press really starts to feast on some of these teams when they're not physically locked in because they're tired, their legs are giving out, when they're mentally making mistakes with the basketball. Because again, mental fatigue just as impactful as physical fatigue in a lot of these situations. It's really day 2, 3, 4 in a row when someone plays West Virginia, and West Virginia can sometimes better take advantage with that. Day 1 shouldn't impact Baylor, but again, you're betting on a Baylor team and Scott Drew in particular in a must-win spot, and must-win spot and Scott Drew and bet on sometimes don't always mix.
UTSA Marshall, I got nothing on that there, Chief. A lot of people ask about Weber State, Northern Colorado. Tough matchup. Two teams that I have generally pretty much liked this year. I've been on Weber State a lot. I've been able to really kind of figure out when to stay away from Weber State, when to back them. I think it's a great game. I think it'll be a game that comes down to the wire. I think that Northern Colorado is hot. I think they're well coached. I think this is a great game. I think it's probably a tie game with a minute left. That's how close it is. Gun to my head, I'd take Weber, but I don't really have much. Weber's actually has struggled a bit lately on the defensive end. They're not playing at home here. I will say this though: the Big Sky tournament. One game I am looking at late is Eastern Washington, Portland State over the number. One thing you can know about conference tournaments are teams will foul till the end. That's just what they do. You have 2 real efficient offenses here, 2 good foul shooting teams. I think we have the opportunity here for some points in this one. No, I'm not on Weber State. Sorry. Where else are we going here? We also have an update. Ian Cameron down in St. Louis. Missouri has the basketball with 7 seconds left, down 2. How sweet would it be for MPJ, Michael Porter Jr., to hit a 3-ball to win the game? How about that? Wouldn't that be great?
Would be fantastic.
Tell me what happens. Are you watching it live?
I'm watching it now. It's game over. Georgia hangs on.
Damn it.
62-60.
Wow. What a gutless team. Some of these teams are really gutless, man. I mean,
Congrats,
Missouri.
Kyle Hamburg. I know he's flapping his gums in the chat saying UGA, UGA. Congrats, Kyle. Way to go. Your
Yeah,
Bulldogs won.
yeah, there you go.
And it was Porter that shot it, I think, too. He got the open look from 3, just back rimmed it.
Probably not the best idea to have him shooting the last shot. I mean, he's first game back. That's
Putting him in that kind of pressure spot, game winner with seconds left on the clock. That's tough. Yeah.
Yeah. Check out the UNM Wyoming game over. Yeah, I mean they went way high last time they played. I think they got into the hundreds. Both of them. Yeah, I don't hate that one.
Oh, my bad. He didn't shoot that three-pointer with someone else. My bad.
Wyoming goes a mile a minute, so that would be a good one. They both go high tempo wise, but totals up to 166.5. That's a lot of points. Anything else, Ian Cameron, you're looking at?
Tonight, the Tulane for sure, Duquesne for sure. A little bit bite on Marquette. I know plus 11. Villanova is a tough nut to crack. I understand that. But Marquette, this is for their lives. They've been good as a double-digit underdog. I know they don't play a lick of defense, but they can score. They can shoot themselves right back into games at this price range. And all I need, stay inside this 11. The 2 games with Villanova versus Marquette this past season were what, 10 points or less. Villanova won by 10, only won by a few points in Marquette. So they've been relatively competitive. That's all I'm asking for. I don't expect or need Marquette to go in there and win the game, and I don't think they will. Just get inside 11. I think they can.
By the way, shout out to Big Cat on Twitter. Great tweet here. When you're down 2, go to the hoop. I agree. I mean, what are we shooting threes for in a conference tournament down 2? I agree. Go to the hoop. You have 7 seconds left. You have plenty of time. You're either going to get fouled, you can miss it, or you can make it. 2 options are very good. I don't understand that thought process, going for a 3 with 7 seconds left. It's not like there's 2 or 3 seconds left where you have to pull up from half court. You're getting a lease on life, 7 seconds left in the game. Why are you pulling up for 3? And that's weak. Weak possession. And what do you expect from Konzo Martin? That's a shitty coach. Let's.
He doesn't impress me either. He doesn't. Nothing he does is impressive to me. I didn't think he did a great job at Cal by any stretch of the imagination. So Konzo Martin to me, yeah. There's a lot of people that were happy he's coming to Missouri and all that. I wasn't one of them. I said, okay, good for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Thought you could do better at a coaching standpoint than that.
Agreed. Couple others here, and we'll look to wrap it up. Some of the real small conferences tonight. UNC Central playing Savannah State. We obviously know what Savannah State's game plan is. It's shoot as many threes as possible, play little to no defense. This team's given up 100 or more points 13 times this year. They're a wretched defensive team. Ian Cameron, they run about 7 plays more than every other team in the country. They go at a warp speed, but they're just dreadful. These are Memphis Grizzly type numbers on defense. Amazing how bad this team is on defense. They go a mile a minute. NC Central's pretty much the polar opposite. They're going to slow the game down. They want to snail pace it. Listen, I'm not a big fan of betting against Lavelle Moten in conference. This is why I picked NC Central as a sleeper in this conference. Moten's a hell of a coach. So is Ed Joyner, and that's why you continuously see Hampton and NC Central in the MEAC title game and going to the tournament. They're very well coached. They do it the right way. And I like NC Central in tournament games. They've covered 6 of 9 on neutral courts. They're 7-4 as a favorite over the last 11 conference games in tournaments. I like what this team has done. And they take care of bad teams generally. So for me, I think Savannah's dream ends here. Horace Broadnell's team, the fascinating team that they are, I have to go with UNC Central. I'll tell you another team that I like. Look out for that Morgan State Bear basketball team. That team is starting to play better. They had a lot of possibilities this season. Didn't really go to plan, but they have played well. And by the way, Ian Cameron, the Roos are up 2 against Grand Canyon. How about that?
I think that's over. Grand Canyon won 77-74. That's the score I have.
Must have went to overtime because my thing's behind here. Okay, yeah, you might be right. Okay, you're right. Yeah, 77-74. I'm looking at the wrong score.
They survived.
Yes.
Yeah. That would have been headlines. I would have screamed it out. Grand Canyon goes down.
Yeah, don't do that. You lean Savannah State. Well, good for you. I don't know that I agree with that, but hey, good luck, man. Savannah State is a just hideous defensive team. As far as what else do we have?
I like NC Central too. Actually, I bet that small as well. So
yeah,
with you.
gotta like Lavelle Moten, great coach. The other game in that conference, Norfolk State and NCAAB. Another team. It's hard to. Someone asked me about this game on last night's show. I like Norfolk State here. I think at the Scope Arena, it's their home game basically. It's a hometown game. They've actually played pretty well, winning I think not 8 of 9, I believe Norfolk State has. I think they're going to get a win tonight, and I think NC Central will get a win tonight. Let's take a look. Any other questions here? Any thoughts on Fresno State, SDSU? No, not really.
We're too late on that. That game's already tipped off. There is one that I like in the Mountain West, actually, is Wyoming, +3 against New Mexico. I've seen New Mexico as these short favorites before, and they have really struggled to close out close games at times. I remember they absolutely pissed one away against Boise State earlier this season. They had a lead, and somehow they completely floundered it and lost it. And UNLV, they had to hang on for dear life with a big lead in that game as well recently. New Mexico in the favorites role, I don't trust him. Wyoming's a decent. I like Justin James on that team, great player for the Cowboys, and I like that Wyoming has a deep bench. They go 9-10 players deep into the rotation. Nobody played more than 27 minutes of floor time yesterday in the win against San Jose State. That was a 7 p.m. type tip-off. Now you're playing the late game, 11:30 Eastern tonight. Fatigue ain't going to be an issue. They go 10 players deep in the rotation. I see this as a one-possession game probably either way. And if I can get a full +3 with Wyoming in a matchup like this that I think is a pure coin flip, I'm going to take it every chance I can get it.
There you go. Good breakdown. What else do we have here? DeMarco Murray will be a Bronco. Good for him. Fails everywhere he goes, it seems like. You're right, big man. Savannah State is dead last in defense there, Cowboy. They are dead last in the country. And you know what's interesting, Ian? They shoot 42 threes a game. Believe me, they've had the most attempts by a wide margin, and they only make about 30% of them. It's pretty bad. Their game plan is all out of whack. Savannah State's a fun team to watch, but they are very poor. UCSB should roll. Watch yourself there. Jalen Canty's out. Not a great defensive team. Stephen F. Austin, Central Arkansas. I don't ever count Central Arkansas out, though. Look at last night. Jordan Howard's a scorer, a great player.
What about this game, big man? Your thoughts? Oregon State, USC. You laying 6 against the Timmy Tinkles there, the Oregon State?
No, because every time I lay points against that team, I lose.
Yeah. I'm a little reluctant too. I would take Oregon State or nothing there. I really would.
Yeah, I do like your Duquesne play though. That looks like a pretty good one.
Hopefully I can say that in a couple hours from now. That would be great.
Right. Just some updates on some scores here. Kansas thrashes Oklahoma State 82-68. Kansas just keeps winning. Arizona beats Colorado 83-67. I really miss VCU today. I don't know why I didn't take that game. They weren't going to lose to fucking Dayton. And Creighton loses to the Providence Friars. And you have some games in progress that are just getting going. Ian Cameron, as always, good to have you on the show today. I always appreciate chatting with you. Why don't you hit the guys with one more or just recap what plays you're on?
Yeah, we're definitely Tulane. That's consensus with Big Man and I +6.5. I like Duquesne +2, George Washington, St. Louis over the total. I'll probably stick with those three because I'm a little bit higher on those three plays than the rest of them. But Texas Tech laying the points is not a crazy thought. But I'm looking more in toward betting on Texas Tech later in the tournament if they progress in the Big 12 because this is a deep team that Chris Beard has with this Red Raiders team. They are going to be fine in these a second game in 2 days, 3 games in 3 days type of scenarios. They are going to be fine for this Texas Tech. They are a deep basketball team, and because of that, there's going to be opportunities, and I think good value to back them later in this tournament if they can take care of Shaka Smart in Texas tonight.
Very good. Ian Cameron, always good stuff. Have a great night, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, big man. Good luck to you and everybody in the chat.
Take it easy, buddy. Is Corey Maggette a college basketball coach? No, he works for Fox Sports. You might be thinking of Juan Dixon. Juan Dixon is a basketball coach. He coaches Coppin State. ND +8.5, too many points. I disagree. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Where else are we going here? Stephen F. Austin, we talked about. Yeah, I mean, that looks, guys, kind of it here. We'll wrap up the show here. It is about 5:50. That's where we usually kind of so we kind of wrap things up. Everyone have a great night. Hopefully you enjoyed the show tonight. 3 plays from me. I'm currently on Utah Valley State University -8.5. They'll get going here in a little bit. I'm also on Seton Hall +1, and I'm on Tulane University +6.5. Everyone have a great night. I will not be on the air tomorrow, so don't ask. I won't be on the air. We'll be at the I'll be on at 10 o'clock just for the right side of campus, but there will be no 5 o'clock show. I'll be up in New York for the Big East semifinals with Donnie Rightside. So if I have any plays tomorrow, they'll be tweeted out on Twitter. Yeah, that'll be that. Everyone have a great night. Hopefully you enjoy the games tonight. Good luck. I'll be on the Blackjack Fletcher show at 10:30. Viva La Vegas will be taking your calls if you wish to opine. Everyone have a great night. See you later.